All right, let's jump right in. Deep inside the Quran, there's a huge puzzle, a divine law about the sanctity of life that seems, well, impossible for people to actually follow. Today, we're going to look at a really powerful solution, an interpretation offered by Khalid al-Sayyad Hassan, and it all boils down to rethinking the meaning of a single, crucial word.
So the Quran is crystal clear here. It lays out one of its most severe punishments for anyone who intentionally kills a mu'min. We're talking eternal hellfire, divine wrath, a great punishment. There's no doubt about how serious this is. But this immediately brings up a massive question that everything else depends on.
Who exactly is a mu'min? I mean, the answer to this question draws the line. It defines the boundary of the sacred protection. It tells us who this law protects and who that ultimate penalty is for. It's the absolute heart of the matter.
Okay, so for a very, very long time, the word mu'min has been translated almost everywhere as believer. You know, someone who has an internal conviction, a faith in God that's inside their heart and their mind. And this, right here, is where the puzzle really starts.
This is where the whole thing just seems to fall apart, right? If the law is meant to protect a person based on their inner state, then to apply it, you'd have to know their inner state. But how can you do that? It's literally impossible for any of us to know for sure what's going on in someone else's heart.
So this ends up creating a standard for justice that you can't actually meet. How is a legal system supposed to work if it's based on knowing something that's unknowable? A divine law that's meant to be a clear guide for all of us suddenly becomes this impractical, confusing paradox. But what if the problem isn't the law at all? What if it's our translation of that one word? Let's go back to the original Arabic root, because this is where the entire puzzle might just completely disappear. You see, in Arabic, the word iman isn't just about a state of mind. Its core meaning is an action. It's the act of granting amen, or security, to the people around you. It's about actively making the world a safe and secure place. It's something you do. So, if iman is the act of granting security, then a mu'min is simply the person who is doing that act. A mu'min is a grantor of security. Put simply, this is any person who is living peacefully, someone who isn't involved in combat or aggression. They are, by their actions, a non-combatant. And just like that, with this one shift, everything changes. The focus moves away from an invisible internal state to an observable external action. A person's status isn't judged by some hidden conviction, but by their peaceful conduct, something anyone can actually see.
Okay, so with this new lens, where a mu'min is a peaceful person, let's go back and look at those complicated verses in the Quran. You're about to see them transform from a theological puzzle into a clear, practical law that's designed for a just world.
All right, let's really dig into the details of verse 92, which deals with the accidental killing of a mu'min. This verse lays out all these different scenarios with different rules, and it can seem pretty complex. But watch what happens when we plug in our new definition.
Check out how this just clicks into place. If you accidentally kill a peaceful person from your own community or a community you have a peace treaty with, you have to atone. This means freeing a protected person and paying compensation to their family. Simple enough. But, and here's the brilliant part, if the victim was a peaceful person from an enemy community, you still atone by freeing a person, but you don't pay compensation. And why not? Because you don't fund your enemies. See? This is practical, real-world law. It's all based on observable things like political alliances, not unknowable inner states.
With this understanding, the law becomes perfectly logical. Justice isn't about trying to be a mind reader anymore, it's about recognizing someone's observable state as a non-combatant. This makes the law practical, fair, and something that can be applied universally.
So this rereading does a lot more than just solve a legal puzzle. It actually uncovers a profound, universal, moral principle that's sitting right at the heart of the Quran.
So the first huge takeaway is this, that ultimate divine protection against being killed isn't some exclusive right. It's not reserved only for a specific group of people who are defined by their private thoughts. It's much, much bigger than that. Instead, this protection extends to any peaceful human being, any non-combatant, no matter their creed, their ethnicity, or what community they come from. The sacredness of life is tied not to a conviction, but to a state of peace.
And this understanding connects perfectly to that other famous Quranic principle, that to kill one soul is like killing all of humanity. When mu'min means any peaceful person, the law against killing them becomes this powerful declaration that the life of any non-combatant is sacred. It's a monstrous crime.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If changing our understanding of this one word, from an observable action to an internal state, can have such a profound impact, what else might we be misunderstanding? How many other concepts that were originally about how we act in the world have we translated into these private, abstract ideas? Now that is a question worth thinking about.